celebrate Creation's 45th anniversary by presenting you guys with two of the nicest people in all of show business, and it's really been a highlight of our career to work with them. So please join me in giving a nice morning welcome to Jared and Jensen.
Waking up.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are y'all?
Good.
You see this guy sleeping in the car?
Jared, I have a question for you.
All right, I'll have an answer.
Did you wear red because it's Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
That was our secret. I did. I hope I haven't worn this before. I was like, it was in the morning, and I'm looking and going, okay, oh, it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
I see red. Anybody else in red? Or am I the only cheesy? All right. I'll just take your word for it. I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing this.
This is why I wore black.
Oh, yeah.
I like this. Anybody ever heard of Jim Gaffigan?
Yes.
Awesome. But he always does the whispers. Why is he wearing black? Because he knows it's Valentine's Day. He's right next to me. He's got a black soul. Who's first time?
Woo!
Welcome. And obviously the rest of you, welcome back again. Thanks for forgiving us and coming back. It's nice to be in Texas, obviously. We saw the kids a little bit and played, which is fun.
What?
What?
Why is he talking to me?
How are y'all liking the new episodes?
Yeah!
Okay, we have a fun one coming up. When is the rest of them? Y'all know when the rest of the one is? 2 more?
I think isn't the next one the sub?
Yeah.
How do y'all know this?
The setup? It's called the setup? Yeah. Say the setup?
Submarine.
I said the setup. Sounds like a...
Drink your coffee.
Sounds like a movie. So I guess y'all know that we had to... I guess I'm not ruining anything by saying we're now filming with Mark, because Mark had to fly away. Fingers crossed for everything to be healthy and happy. We're in the middle of 18, which is going to air as 17, which is probably boring information. But it's cool. It's a big one. It's back to some cool, big old mythology, and I love that. The one-offs are always fun, but I love the kind of crazy, kooky, even if Misha has to be in it, and Mark has to be in it. So lots of fun. Any questions? Yeah.
So at a recent convention, someone asked Christian Kane why he's never been on Supernatural. And his answer was that if he was to be on the show, he would have to lose in a fight to you. And no audience would believe that you would lose in a fight. I was wondering what your response to that was.
He's saying that the audience wouldn't believe that I would beat him in a fight?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Dean, or are we talking about Jensen and Chris?
The real reason is I don't want anybody with longer hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's get down to the real reason. You know, we've joked about that. His I forget what was his character's name on Leverage. Right. That it would be either a great showdown to have Dean Winchester versus Elliot, or it would be a great ally for the brothers to have So
Yeah.
maybe he's like another hunter that we run into and would join forces.
There you go.
What?
We'll talk later.
Okay. Giant light bulb just went above.
That light bulb.
Yeah, no, Chris and I have actually talked about it. When Leverage was done, he's like, all right, I'm ready, let's do this. When am I up there? When am I coming to Vancouver? Like, I don't make those decisions, but I will certainly tell people that do. So, yeah, hopefully that does happen. That would be cool. Yes, right here.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you saw that, oh God, that Saks Underwear DM'd you about modeling for them? DM them about modeling
I'd love to.
for them.
I
We want to make sure you didn't miss the...
We want to make sure you got that memo. I can print it out for you. But just want to make sure you know about this.
do they make female underwear, by the way? I guess they probably wouldn't need to.
Females don't need a pouch.
They're like mountains that are like volcanoes. Mountains. I'd love to. It'd be fun.
We can start now.
You know what's funny is I wanted to do it years ago, because when they were like a young upstart company, and I had found them like in some weird shop in Vancouver. This is about 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. And I was like, this company's great, but you couldn't buy them. Like they were on the shelf, and then they'd run out, and I'd be like, I would like some for my travel or whatever. I was like, well, maybe if I can like take some pictures, maybe I can get some free underwear, which I guess I can afford underwear. But like 2, 3, 4 pairs of underwear, billionaires. Sorry, thank you for passing on to them. I will DM them. That'll be a lot of fun. But not women don't need it still, right? I'm gonna go way over here. I see a hand with a glove.
Have you actually experienced any supernatural experiences like on set or at home?
I had a funny experience at the Driscoll Hotel in Austin. It's a wicked hotel, and so back in the day when we had young kids, well, I guess we still have young kids, we were younger kids, we would take date night, so we'd like get a babysitter and be like, okay, take them, see you tomorrow. Hustle off, so we stayed downtown at the Driscoll. And I had a really, I don't want to say I'm a non-believer, but I'm a skeptic because I do a TV show about extreme, whatever. I don't want to say extraterrestrial, supernatural stuff. So I was like, I do a TV show about it. It'd be cheesy but I had a totally bizarre, like sheets being moved, and I'm looking at Jen, and then I turned the TV on, and it wasn't Mario Lopez, and it's always Mario Lopez. It's like, where's my Mario? But it was Dean and Benny in Purgatory, and then I turned it off and turned it back on again, and it went back to the Mario Lopez screen, where he's like, and this week in Divergent, it's about a young lady. So, yeah, I have senior athlete.
No. We have filmed in some pretty creepy places before. There's been some houses that we've shot in. There's one in particular, there's a couple, but there's one in particular I remember. While they're setting up, that gives us time to explore. So I went upstairs to this one house, and of course, there's like signs on the owner puts like signs on the door like do not enter, like off limits, which is basically like come on in, yeah, come on in, dare you to try. So there was this one like bedroom at the end of the long hall that the house was pretty dilapidated. It was run down, and like walked into the shower and it was like something out of Hostel. Or like, with like the rust drip like all the way down the wall, and it looked like the tub hadn't been cleaned in years. So anyway, I walked to this door, and I just kind of open it, and just, you know, and I get this waft of like rotting flesh. I was like, I just opened it, and I got this smell, and I'm like, there is a dead person. And I just closed it, and I turned and walked away. And then I found out that there was like little children living there.
Oh.
And yeah, look, you know, we just go there to film. But yeah, it wasn't really supernatural. It was more just kind of gross. And that wasn't even the worst one. So I'll save the worst one for another time. For never. It was, yes, how about right there?
I just wanted to ask about, did y'all have a lot of fun doing the hangover scene for the Valentine's Day episode?
The hangover scene?
Yeah, that was hilarious, and it looks like y'all probably did have some fun making it.
Yeah,
It was from experience.
it was one of those things where rarely, but every now and again, we'll look at each other 11 seasons in and be like, man, this should have been a gag all along. With Dean smelling the rotten food and still going like, oh, all right.
Well, that wasn't in the script. I was just supposed to walk straight to the coffee, get the coffee, and start the scene. Phil was directing that episode. Phil always has some good ideas.
Also, rock, paper, scissors wasn't in the script.
That wasn't in the script.
It was awesome! Yeah! Woo!
My favorite part about that was that Dean wins,
Yes.
and he still doesn't get to go upstairs. It's like, I won it. It's like, whatever, I'm going upstairs. He's like, okay. So even though he won, he's still kind of lost.
I don't think he cared. He finally won.
Yeah, but that's, you know, especially with certain directors, we get to kind of add those little beats and those flavors for kind of make it fun.
Yeah, super fun. With the lightsaber, Angel Blade.
Angel.
Sorry, the light was reflecting off of it.
Yeah.
Somebody over there has the force.
Hi, so my name's Kirby. This is my first convention ever, and
What? A hush just fell over the crowd.
sorry, people have gotten to know me a little bit, I guess, here because I've asked questions at like every panel. So I've been watching you guys since day one, so 11 years in. So love you guys a lot, and welcome back to Texas. Glad to have you here. So my question is, you guys have been at the bunker since season 8. And I've been kind of thinking, you guys are kind of hogging all the really good hunting information, like from the hunting community. Like, it took you like 2 seconds to figure out that Xenas were real, you know, with imaginary friends. You're like, hold on, I'm half asleep, but I'm going to go in the card catalog. And yep, here it is right here. It's in the lore. We're good. All right, he's not lying. So do you think that like Sam and Dean should, I don't know, maybe like spread the word that they might have some information that could be helpful?
Well, I think we've had different experiences with hunters. Most hunters don't like Sam and Dean, because most hunters know that Sam and Dean started the apocalypse. I think the last big fight I got in with was with a hunter, right? So I think Sam and Dean, by nature, are sort of not very trusting. And if we meet a hunter, but the hunter's really a demon, and we tell the demon where the bunker is, they wouldn't be very smart. So I think we know each other, we trust each other, and we've done a pretty damn good job keeping people safe so far. So,
All right.
There's also the network of hunters. I think is still very much alive, and Sam and Dean.
Networkbook.com.
Yes.
It's like Facebook, but with the hunter book. What? Face hunter. Facebook. Face hunter. Hunter Facebook.
It's like a
Facebook.
like a yearbook with faces on it.
You're hunter.
In a scene we just shot this past week, Sam looks at Dean. He's like, "Hey, look, here's a case," and Dean replies, "What? All right, well, we'll call somebody and put him on it." So
Okay.
I think there's still a network there that they're a part of, but I do agree that face book, face hunt book face. Nope. Next question. Is it my turn?
I did lightsaber.
You did lightsaber. How about the one waving to me over there? Yes. Yes.
Me and my friend wanted to ask you what your favorite dance move was.
The creaser.
What my favorite or his? I know what his favorite is.
Both of you.
The snaky leg. Or the Swayze.
What does that look like?
It is too early to snaky leg, and I just showered, so maybe later. What is yours?
Favorite dance move?
Nay-nay?
Yeah.
Just keep it right here.
He likes to whip and nay-nay. I probably should say, what does that mean? That means probably something bad.
Probably.
Yeah. He neither whips nor nay-nays. And neither should you until you're 18.
Kids, don't try this at home.
And don't buy sacks. I'll buy them. Guys. Not sexist, but just wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Next question.
Yes, hey Mark.
According to Ghostbusters 2, today is the end of the world. I was wondering if you had plans for that. She has the picture.
Is it really?
Yes.
On Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm glad we're in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your plans for the last day on Earth? And do you know where I can get some hookers and below?
Well, yeah. Yes and yes. Plans for the last day on Earth? Well, if today's the day, then I guess it's to spend it with you guys. Day's not over yet.
And the second part of the question, if you go out the back, you take 3 rights and a left. Walk 100 paces and ask for fresh flowers. But not sacks. You'll see.
Oh my
We'll go
God.
right here, 2 in from the alley. Yes.
Hi, I was wondering, my name's Shannon Hunter, I'm from Jersey. I was wondering if you could pick one person that's on TV, any character, to be in Supernatural, who would it be?
Ooh. Jensen, go first.
There's a lot of television on right now. No. No.
I think it'd be fun to have Walter White on.
He's not on television right now.
On reruns. Can they be on reruns?
On Netflix. On Netflix. Gosh.
Who would you want?
Jon Snow.
That is a hard one, but I would say... I would say either Stephen Amell or Robbie Amell.
Oh yeah.
No.
It would be fun. It would be fun to have, both those guys are great guys. So it would be fun to have them on. I would love to see Oliver and Dean not get along. Yeah. Plus, I like making Amell feel short.
Or anyone.
With him especially, I like to make fun of him. He was doing some crazy workout on Facebook. He was like, "Hey, somebody help me think of a name." And it was like an ab roller with a barbell going into a clean to like a snatch to overhead raise and then back. And he was like, "Hey, everybody help me name this." People were like, "The Killer, the Annihilator," and I was like, "How about the warm up?" He texted me immediately. He's like, "That's pretty funny."
Yeah.
Can't let you have it. No, that would be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody with some powers to help us out when we need.
We could have that angel from Constantine. Oh wait.
Oh no, we have that.
We have the. They're not on TV. I didn't know what the rules were. Mark Harmon. We just had a Mark Harmon conversation. Yeah. Well, that'd be weird because he's already been somebody. Do we kill you or hug you or what are you?
See, I don't know how the. Never mind. I don't know.
Jim. Key and Peele.
Yeah! Angry Luther.
Your turn.
Yes. Yeah.
Mine or his?
Both of them are so cute. What's your funniest dad story?
A lot of fun stories. So I just had a great, actually, experience for young or parents of young kids. You probably know of a show called Wildcrats. Wildcrats is on loop in my house, literally. Like it's just running through my head. And Tom especially pretends to like activate his creature powers. And Wildcrats happened to be doing a live stage show in Austin a couple weeks back. And I was like, my God, like I could be the dad of the year. And so I called my agent and was like, hey, can you see if we can like meet them or something? And so they set up a meet and greet. And the guys kind of knew of Supernatural and had seen a few episodes. And they were excited. And we're sitting there watching the stage, and the actual Wildcat human beings come out, Martin and Chris, for those who don't know. And instead of watching, I spent like the hour and a half of the show just looking down the aisle at my kids, because they were like,
aww.
Literally I turned to Jen and I was like, I think this is terrible, because Tom and Shep have had the happiest moment of their life, like before turning 4. So that was super fun to me, because it was legitimately, like they could not believe it. And they, even last night, they're like wearing their Wildcat clothes and activating creature powers, and they just were pigs and shit. I mean, I can get away with that in Texas.
Yeah, woo!
It was also nuttier than sports. That was mine.
Yeah, mine's not so good. JJ's awesome. She's, a little over 2.5. We were in Austin. We were out at this property, and I was there with JJ. There was like a playground, and it was a big oak tree, and they had like the ladder, like where you hammer 2x4s and make a ladder onto a tree. And where it splits, the big slide that goes down the other side. So there were a few kids running around. JJ was like, "Do you want to go get the slide?" I was like, "All right." We had to climb up the tree, and it was almost like maybe 8 feet before you had to crawl over the split in the tree and then head down the slide. So it was a little dicey. So I stood by while she was climbing, and I was standing right there in case she slipped or fell or something. And then she was kind of taking it, because it was a little uneven, so she was kind of taking her time getting up there. And this girl walks up, about the same size as JJ. She walks up and she's like, "I can climb it faster than that."
Oh no.
The girl was never heard from again.
So I go, "Is that right? How old are you?" She goes, "I'm 4.
Oh.
I'm like, "Oh." And I looked around. I go, "Well, she's only 2.5. When she turns 4, she'll be able to climb it faster than you."
Oh, yeah.
Way to go, Dad. There are those times where someone's being mean to your kid, and you're like, "Hey, where are your parents?" In the black, the ones that are looking away. Okay, I will end you. The ones that aren't looking right. Okay, kid, I will
Yeah. And I walked away going, "Okay, so that's the kind of dad you're gonna be." That's great.
I see something waving. I'll go with the waving. The waving flag? Yes, that one.
My badge.
Okay, your badge. Sorry, everything's a little bright. Is that the greatest idea of all time? Get it? Because the light bulb. Stop talking. Stop. The amount of lumens. Why is he still talking? Easy for you to say.
I have a question for both of you, and I'm sorry if I get a little emotional. As parents, and as someone that's dealt with depression, if your child was diagnosed with it at an early age, my son just turned 11, and he's been bullied for the past year, how would you handle it as parents?
Talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, talk about it. Say, you know, it'll pass. Be there. All you can be is an ear, right? And you can't fix anything. But I mean, I've dealt with it. I'm here. A lot of people have. So I think I would just talk about it. You know, talk with a professional. I think.
Yeah, we've got a doctor for him.
Great. Do that.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, as you can tell by my last story, we certainly aren't the best parents. But yeah, I would certainly say that to get somebody professional on your side to help mentor you and how to take care of it would be the first step. But yeah.
Sure. Keep going.
Okay. How about right there? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first of all, Jared, the hair is on point.
Yeah, Jets are looking good.
Your hair is always on point.
Oh.
You know that.
A bunch of little points, but okay.
And Jensen, if we get season 12, how will you feel knowing that you will be the same age that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was when the show started?
Oh.
We've talked about this.
And where is your 26-year-old Hunter?
Yeah, because Jeff, I think, is 11 years older than me am. And, you know, I'm sure you all know that when, after we shot the pilot and we got picked up for, the series got picked up, they looked to recast the dad as an older actor, because Jeff was only 11 years older. And they were like, you know, because in the pilot, he's the, you know,
The big scene in the pilot was obviously a flashback.
right,
So
flashback
that's more
with
appropriate
when
for
Sam
that.
and Dean are little. And so they were going to look to cast an older actor to play John Winchester. And I don't remember how the decision was made, but they finally just were like, you know, let's just gray Jeff up a bit. Put some gray in his stubble and maybe gray his hair a little bit and just make him look a little older, even though he's, you know, too young to really be our father. But they did that anyway, and I think they made the right decision. I think he did an awesome job.
Yeah.
We have a funny thing where, because we've been on for over 10 years, we call it the 3-decade club. So we have people that started the show in their 30s that are now in their 50s, people that started the show in their 20s that are now in their 40s. And so, like, every year now, we have people that are breaching, you know, if you're 39 when we shot the pilot or the first episode, then you're now 50, you know, so the 3, 4, 5 decade club. So the big question is, will you go from 26 years old to 40 years old on the show?
Yep.
Only if y'all want it.
Yeah.
My goal was to, by the time Dean got to where Jeff was when he started the show, I was like, I gotta get my voice as low as his. So I've been working on that for 11 years. And now I need medical help, so.
You already see that.
Shut up.
I'm gonna go to the very end.
Thank you. Love the show. My daughter was wondering, Van Hagar or Van Halen?
Oh.
Sammy Hagar or Van Halen? I'm gonna go Van Halen.
Yeah.
David Lee Roth.
Yes.
I have a Van Halen story that's fantastic. Tell us. So I was at Ralph's in California when I was maybe 21, 22 years old, and they sell beer in the grocery stores until like 1:59 a.m. And so we were gonna have a night, and so we went to the grocery store to buy some beer, and when I get into line, there's a guy who is a small guy. He was maybe a homeless man or something, but he had an open like Hawaiian shirt, brown leather skin, and he was buying a bunch of $2 Chuck, which I don't know if you know what $2 Chuck, Charles Shaw wine, they call it $2 Chuck, because it's always like $1 or $2, and it was like the special, and there was a special on, I guess. It was like 16 bottles, like 4 bottles of Merlot, 4 bottles of Cap Sav, 4 bottles of this, and I was like, geez, this guy's going to town, thinking like, you know, he's loading up because I think it was a special of the weekend or something. And so I'm just making conversation.
We're just a raging alcoholic.
And so I kind of making conversation, and I'm like, that must be good. And he looks back and he's like, you never had it? And I was like, I never had it. He's like, well, follow me. He grabs my arm and takes me to the end of the aisle where all these wines are for sale. It's like limit 4 per varietal or something. And he's like, well, this. And so I just kind of humoring the guy, grab a couple bottles and go back to the line. And the clerk, the cashier, asks for this gentleman's ID. And the guy's like, you don't think I'm 20, he's clearly over 21. And the clerk's like, no, in the state of California, you have to swipe the ID, otherwise, you could be 100 years old and I couldn't sell to you. And so the guy kind of goes to his pocket looking for something, and he pulls out his ID, and the clerk grabs his ID and just kind of gives it a cursory glance, and he kind of goes like this. And I'm thinking, like, I see this look, and I'm like, this guy's either like 100 years old and he looks 60, or he's like 25, and like something crazy's going on. And so he checks the guy out, and the guy's like, enjoy the wine, kind of wanders off. And at this Ralph's, you can see out the front, you can see the cars, the parking lot, stuff like that. There's glass register, parking lot. And so the guy's kind of has wide eyes, and he's probably in his 20s. And I was like, so what's the story? Like, what's the story? Like, what just happened? He goes, do you know who that was? I was like, no. He goes, that was Eddie Van Halen. And I was like, what? And so I craned my neck to look, and there's Eddie Van Halen loading up wine into a Ferrari.
Yeah! Woo!
Good on you, sir. I drank the wine that night. It was awful. Awful. And at that point in my life, I didn't really know wine. Yeah.
On that note.
On that note.
I think we're done.
Try the $2 Chuck. Love you guys.
Done for now. Thanks for